Hi, I'm Dawn, and this is where Shabby meets Bling. Here comes some festive decor, because this is Merry Christmas and Holiday Fun. I would like to thank my co-host Monica from Up All Night DIY. You're going to find the links to her channel and this playlist in my description box below. So, this day last week, I was tooling around the old Goodwill. You know how I love my Goodwill. And I got kind of trapped in the lamp section. I have a thing for lamps. Oh, come on, let's face it. I have a thing for lamps and candlesticks and all kinds of things. But I love me a good lamp. I like them for the sake of being a lamp, and then I like them for the sake of being what could be something else. Well, I found 2 lamps on this trip. I have found 4 lamps in the last couple of weeks. And this lamp right there, that lamp, is going to replace something that I broke. More lamps. They actually have a second lamp section. Go figure. I'm not complaining because I found this. Look at that. You tell me what you see. I know what I see. I see a Christmas tree. This little puppy's coming home with me, and it's going to get transformed into kind of one of those old school light up Christmas trees. This mid-century modern cone-shaped lamp cost me $6.99. And it's well worth it. Granted, it is not in great shape, it is not attractive, and there will be a handful of people out there that aren't going to appreciate the fact that I'm going to transform this lamp. But I look at it this way: anything that is old and I transform and I enjoy it for the rest of my days, it is worth it. It is well worth it. First thing I need to do is disassemble. So we're going to take all the components apart. Doesn't even matter if it works because I'm not going to be using the lamp parts. I will be keeping the skeleton of this lamp. All of the metal, the lamp thread, the whole 9 yards, I will be keeping it. Right now, it's a sad little Christmas tree. So sad, so sad. Where's its top? It needs to come to a point because there needs to be a tree topper if it's going to be a Christmas tree. And I love a good tree topper. I need to build up the top of that cone. And the way I'm going to do it is with a very thick plastic straw and a balloon stem holder. You've seen me use both of these items before, even those green straws. They really do come in handy, so I have a plethora of sizes. I will be using the larger straw. I'm going to use that straw as an armature for the buildup of the top of the tree, and I will be using hot glue to combine the thicker straw and that balloon stem holder, just like so. Once my hot glue has dried, I will take that straw and feed it through the bottom, up through the top of that hole, and once I have it all the way to the top, I am going to hot glue it into place. Now I need to determine how tall I want my tree, and I am going to give it a little choppity chop with my big old wire cutters and take a look at it and see if I like it, and if not, I can trim it more. I can trim it at any point until I start building up around it, and I think that looks pretty good. But before I could start building up around it, there's one more thing I need to do. I'm going to use my drill and drill through the hole at the bottom to let a light through, because there will be a light kit inserted inside the bottom of the tree. And if it is totally clogged up with hot glue, no light's gonna get through the top of that straw. So what I'm doing is I'm just creating some holes through the hot glue so the light will be able to escape. Now it's time to get out the JB Weld Quickwood, which you know I love to use. This stuff is gonna dry nice and hard, just as hard as the ceramic. I almost feel like I'm reenacting a scene from Ghost here. I'm sculpting around a little blue. If my tree were on a little potter's wheel, it would be just perfect. Blue is Demi Moore, and I am Patrick Swayze in this version of Ghost. He is not helping, though. I believe Demi helped just a little bit. Just a little bit. You can see I've already mixed my Quickwood, and I already have it applied, and now I am just molding it into place to form the little tippity top of my tree. Right now, it kind of looks like a weird mountain. It really does. It kind of looks like a mountain, but that's okay. Once it's all the way sculpted and sanded and painted, it won't look like a mountain anymore. I promise. I promise. It'll look like a tree for sure. At least that's the plan. My initial mix of the Quickwood wasn't enough, so I mix up a little bit more and I add some more. I don't like to mix up too much of this product because it is a little bit expensive and I don't want to waste it. So I go a little at a time as needed. So I keep mixing and adding until I get my tree exactly how I want it, shaped just so, leaving a little bit of extra overlap onto the top of the lamp, so that way when I sand, I can get a nice, flat, smooth finish. It's time to sand. I like to sand the Quickwood by hand instead of using a power tool because I have more control. So I make sure to keep an eye on it so it doesn't get too darn hard, and I'm able to sand it by hand. Once I get it the way I want it, then we can start painting. Thank goodness Blue's helping, or this would take me forever. Thanks, Blue. It is a time to turn the mountain into a tree. I am using a Crafter's Collection paint by Hobby Lobby, and the color is Fern Fields, and I think it is so pretty, so pretty. And I am multitasking because evidently Blue needs some scratches. So while multitasking, I give my little tree its base coat of this Fern Fields, which is a really pretty color. And once I get the first coat on, I set it aside to dry thoroughly. You know, my plans were grand, but I don't even know if I can drill through this, so I'm gonna try a little test. I've got my drill bits out. These are tile bits, and I am going to see if I can get a hole through this little tree, or it'll just have to be a decorated tree, but I really want to light it up. You know how I like to light things up. So we're going to give it a whirl, and I'm just taking my time, and I'm using the size bit that I think will let some light out, not a huge amount, but it's going to let a little bit of light out. And if I have enough holes, that's the plan. If I can get enough holes in this thing, it will just have a nice glow. So I drill nice and steady to see what happens. And there's my reward. There's my reward, a nice size hole. Now I just have to get a nice pattern of holes all the way around, spiraling up this tree. The way I'm creating my spiral is by using some jute and painter's tape. I start where my first little hole is, and I just kind of eyeball the whole thing and wind that jute around my tree, slowly spiraling it all the way to the top. Now I have to figure out where I am going to be drilling all of these holes along that jute line. From my initial hole that I already drilled, I am measuring 4 inches to the right, and I make a little dot, and 4 inches to the left and make a little dot. Then as I go to the left, I will measure another 4 inches and make another dot. These are going to be where I will be drilling. Now I'm only doing this on the first row of my jute. Then every row as I go up, I will be going in between those two marks on the next level, if that makes any sense. And you'll see as I drill how this plays out. Once I have my marks all the way up my tree, I can start drilling all these holes. I believe there's 24 in total. I'm not going to bore you with watching me drill 23 more holes because you already watched me drill one. Same thing, different location. So I will get this done, and then we can get that next coat of paint on our little tree. But before I do that, I'm going to give the entire tree a coat of the Podge. One nice healthy coat of Mod Podge to help that next coat adhere right to our tree. And once that coat of Mod Podge is dry, I go right back to that really pretty paint color, Fern Fields. This time I have to make sure I get into all of the drill holes because I don't want any of that white showing through. Not that it would anyway. I'm going to put something on top of here, but you know I have problems. It's there. I don't want to see it. Even right now, I don't want to see it, so I'm going to paint it. So I'm getting all of the little drill holes painted as well as the rest of the tree, and we'll set it aside to dry. I want to create some texture on my tree, so I'm going to be using this. This is not wallpaper. This is gift wrap. This is gift wrap that I picked up at the Goodwill for $2.49. And there's 2 big sheets in here, and it is really cool. I have never seen dimensional gift wrap like this before. What I'm going to do is cut out some of the leaves and some of the petals on these little flowers, and I am going to arrange them onto the tree, kind of like a mosaic. I start at the bottom, and I'm going to slowly, methodically arrange them so they fit together kind of like a little puzzle, but I will leave space in between so they are not touching. I will use a matte Mod Podge to adhere all of my little pieces to the tree. I'm not gonna pull your leg here. This was time consuming, very time consuming, but I really like the look that I am getting with this technique. I almost wish I had 2 of these lamps because I'd love to do one with just this little paper detail all over it and one fully decorated. Once I have all of my little paper details Mod Podged onto the tree, I paint everything that beautiful green color. Everything. It takes a couple coats to cover the paper, but it really looks cool when it's done. After I have 2 solid coats on here and I see no more white, I'll bust out the podge, and the entire tree gets a nice thorough coat of matte Mod Podge. Now to address the base. It is not in good shape. It is cracked pretty bad, and I don't want it to come apart. So I'm simply going to take some wood glue and force it down into the crack, and then I'm going to set it aside to dry. Once my wood glue has settled down way down into that crack and dried, I'm going to hit the remaining gap with 1 time. Then I will set it aside and let it dry. Once that 1 time has dried, I give the base a nice sanding, a real nice sanding. And then we're going to add some dimension to the base, just like we did the tree. Back to the gift wrap. I am going to be cutting out these large flowers and these small flowers, and I'm going to be layering them to create a poinsettia effect. I will be making 5 poinsettias in total. Each one will have 2 of the large flowers and 1 of the small, and they will be offset so their petals don't overlap. They will be staggered to give real depth and dimension to each flower. I will use Mod Podge to adhere them to the base. Once all my flowers are dried, I will paint the base with that beautiful fern fields so it is identical in color to my tree. Now for some embellishments. I am going to be using some rose gold embroidery thread and gold and silver glitter pebbles. Glitter pebbles, that's what they're called. Got them for half off at Hobby Lobby. I'm going to be stringing them to make a little garland for my tree. And I'm just going to alternate. I will string a gold, then a silver, then a gold, and a silver, and so on until I get a nice long strand of garland that I can put on my little tree. Remember the holes I drilled that the light is going to be coming through? Well, I told you I'm going to be covering them, and I'm going to be covering them with these little poinsettias. Now you're probably thinking, Dawn, if you cover them, how are you going to see the light? Well, I'm going to create a hole in the center of each of the little poinsettias. I remove the little gold bead that's in the center and I make a pilot hole. Then I make sure all of my little petals are still together, because once I remove the center, it's going to jeopardize the stability of each of the flowers. So I am using my Elmer's glue to glue down all the petals together so that they won't come apart. And then I will come back with my paper punch and punch a hole right through the center. So I'm telling you up front, punching this hole was not easy. It took a little muscle, and it meant the end of my hole punch, but it was worth it. So once I get the holes punched through, I make sure again that all the petals are glued into place, and then we can create the centers. And the way I form the centers is really simple. It's just with hot glue. I lay out all my little poinsettias with a little hole punched in the middle, and I hold them tight to a silicone mat, and I put a little dollop of hot glue right in the center. This kind of ends up giving me a stained glass appearance. It's kind of cool the way the light comes through that little dot right in the middle. Once I get all my glue centers in place, I let them cool, and then I can remove them from the mat. And I am just using that same knife that I used to create the pilot hole to kind of scrape them, peel them off my silicone mat. If you just go to pull it, you're going to pull the flower and leave the little glob of hot glue behind on the mat, and we don't want that. So very carefully, go right smooth against the mat and take your little flower up. Now we get to do the fun part. We get to bust out the glitter, get out the glitter. Tis the season for glitter. I am using a Mod Podge to create a little ring around my hot glue center, and then I'm gonna douse that little ring with rose gold glitter. I glitter all 24 of my little poinsettias and set them aside to dry. When I glue these on to my tree, I will be using that Elmer's glue. In case I didn't mention it, it's Elmer's Craft Bond all-purpose glue. Love this stuff. I want a tree topper for my little tree, and I chose a star. I have a couple of rusty stars that I am painting antique gold. I removed the little wire, because these are little picks basically. I removed the wire from each one of them, and I will be filling that hole, putting something in the middle, and placing these two stars back to back and gluing them together with one single piece of wire coming out the center of the bottom. That way I can place it into the top of my tree. I need more ornaments, so I'm going to make some. I am taking a piece of white construction paper and I am painting it with a metallic white paint. I'm painting a good section of it because I'm going to be using some shaped hole punchers to create little shapes that I'm going to put on some little clay medallions. So I get a good portion of this painted in the metallic white. The remainder of this piece of paper I will be painting in that antique gold. The white is from Hobby Lobby. It's their crafters collection, and it is simply called white metallic. The antique gold is a folk art paint by Plaid. These are some of my ornaments, and pay no attention at all to the ornament that I'm painting right now. It's for another project, but take a look at these. These I made when I made this video, so you can see what they are and how I made them. The others right here and here are made of foam, and these over here are made of flower clay. Here's the construction paper that I painted in those two metallic paint colors. I will be using a little star hole puncher to punch out some gold stars that will go on large rounds made from flower clay that I will be painting. And I will be punching out some white snowflakes to go on some of the other flower clay rounds that I will be painting. The little flower clay circles I made a long time ago for another project, and I made extra, as I always tend to do. Everything will get painted in a variety of colors, ranging from that metallic gold we used on our stars, that Crafters Collection metallic white that we used on our paper, and even a Crafters Collection silver metallic. Since my flower clay rounds were made a long time ago, I had previously painted some of them in a really pretty green and blue, and I'm going to use them just as they are, with stars on them, of course. I will also be using these adorable little candy canes that I picked up a couple years ago at Hobby Lobby, and I have taken off the little plastic loop that's at the top because these are made to be hung on whatever you want to hang them on. But I like to glue them on things because without that little plastic loop, they look like real candy canes. So cute. Here's a really good look at some of my little ornaments. The clay, the foam, there's that little star for the tree topper, my little clay rounds with the snowflake. So cute. I am so happy with these little guys. And the little stars. I really think these cute little ornaments will give me that mid-century modern kitsch look I'm after. All I have to do now is glue them onto my tree. So let's check out if my lamp becomes a vintage Christmas tree. Here she is, a lamp no more, and now a kitschy little mid-century modern Christmas tree. Yeah, it has a lot on it, but oh my goodness, how cute is that? How cute is that? And when it's Christmas time, can you really have too much? I don't think so. I don't think so. I love how the base looks like it's just an extension of the tree itself. Really reminds me of a Christmas tree, one of those ceramic ones that my grandma used to set out every Christmas. Ah, memories. I miss her. I think she would love this little tree. I think the ornaments turned out really sweet, and I love the way the star is truly dimensional, and it's proportioned perfectly for the size of this tree. The entire tree and the base were coated with matte Mod Podge, so it all had the same finish. One of the ways I will display my tree is with these cute little retro style reindeer. So sweet. But we've not seen it lit up, so let's light it up and see if any of that light comes through those poinsettias. I would say we were successful because you can definitely see that light shining through the centers of those little flowers. Now, if I were to turn the lights totally off, it would be even brighter. The light even shines through the new addition to the top of the tree. I feel I will probably be making some coordinating pieces to go with my little tree because I really love the way it came out. Thanks again to Monica for joining me for some festive decor, Merry Christmas and holiday fun. You're going to find the link to her channel and this playlist in my description box below. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a like, share it with your family and friends and anyone that loves DIYs, thrifting, repurposing, mid-century modern, holiday, and Christmas decor. You can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and don't forget to check out my shop on Etsy. Leave me a comment. I would absolutely love to hear from you. Ring the bell for notifications of all my upcoming videos. Subscribe. It is a fabulous way to support my channel. Join. It's even a better way to support my channel. But for now, this is Dawn with Shabby Meets Bling. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you next time.